The day we've been looking forward to for months is finally here. The new Apocalypse Rising 2 update is finally out. But we got one problem, man, and I don't know how to solve it. Pirates have invaded the island and they're trying to take our loot. So let's gear up and take down these pirates once and for all. And while we're at it, let's buy the Apocalypse Rising 2 Season 3 Battle Pass featuring all new cosmetics to customize your character. This is not an ad, by the way. Alright, but on a more serious note, I'm doing my update video again. This is only my second one, so hopefully it's better than the last one I did. If you enjoy it, please leave a like on the video, I'd appreciate it, and subscribe as well if you haven't done that already. And if you have any ideas or thoughts, please leave a comment, and with that, let's get into the video. Alright, to start off, the first thing I would like to mention is I do not have the patches in front of me right now, so what I'll be going off of is a Reddit post that's detailing most of the major information about the update. So if there's any little things I missed, I'm sorry, but for the most part, I'll be covering the main parts of the update. So on that note, the first thing I'd like to start off with is the map changes, and that's probably the first thing that you'll notice when you load into the game. So let me show you this little cinematic I put together of the old map and the new map side by side, showing the changes and all that. After that, I'll talk about some of the features and my thoughts on the new map, and the rest I'll leave it to you to explore because this map is actually pretty cool. I like the changes, and I feel like it should be explored to your own extent. So the first thing I would like to talk about regarding the map is the actual map itself. And as you can see, there's a lot of changes, most noticeably the two new islands. There's also 3 new towns you can see on the map: Huron, Eden, and Mortar. And one new addition to the map you can see are these blue markings that identify spots that wouldn't usually be on a map, like the bunkers here on the bottom. You'll now also notice a coordinate grid system on the map. I'm sure the reason behind this is due to no longer being able to see your group members on the map, so you'll have to communicate using the grid system or other means to find each other. Next, I want to talk about these car wrecks you could find around the map. And they're pretty common, and the best thing about them is that they have loot inside of them. So as you can see, I just went to this one, I found a Mac 10. For most of them, there's usually 3 things you can loot of them: both sides of the car and the back. You can find variety of stuff. Like I said, I don't know the extent of what could spawn in here, and I think the rest about them is pretty self-explanatory. As I walk up here, I just want to talk about the new farms that are added to the map. This area of the map's pretty much unrecognizable in comparison to before. This is right by the helicopter crash south of University. As you can see, there's a helicopter crash right there, and as you walk up, you can tell that there's literally nothing that looks alike compared to the old map. You've got these nice little farm fields with green hay bales and stuff like that. You got these up here with your normal hay fields, and they're a little more dynamic and less flat. Let me kill a zombie real quick. But yeah, it's a nice little change, changing up the old areas of the map as well. Next thing I want to talk about is pretty small. It's not that big of a change, but it's worth noting. And it's that some of the houses in the game got revamped, both their exterior and their interior. And if you're an old player, you may notice this house, and you could go inside and look and tell how much has changed. But not much else to talk about for this. The last thing I want to talk about regarding the map is the improved tree density around the map. You'll notice that there are a ton more trees than usual. And again, it's nothing that really seems big, but it's going to change gameplay a lot to see all these different sight lines and snipers. So we'll see how it plays out. So the next thing I want to talk about is a rather small change, but its effect on gameplay is probably going to be one of the biggest changes that we've ever seen in the game. And that's going to be the time it takes to now transfer ammo. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate this now. I'm going to shoot off my MP5. I'm going to go ahead and reload it. And like usual, you'd want to fill up this magazine again. So what we do is go like that. But this time, it takes time to fill. And as well as emptying mags, also takes time to do that as well. As far as I'm aware, there are different ammo transfer speeds for different kind of magazines and ammo types and stuff like that. But I don't know the specifics. I just know for sure that there's different stats for these. So the next thing I'd like to discuss regarding ammo are the changes done to the ammo containers. And if you come over here and take a look, for example, we have the 5.56 NATO box. Now, previously, before this update, all the boxes in the game held up to 50 bullets, like the 9mm box for 50 out of 50. Now, these boxes only hold 30 out of 30. The Springfield only holds 20 out of 20. Soviet holds 30 out of 30. Rimmed ammo holds 20 out of 20. 5.45 Soviet 30 out of 30. And NATO 20 out of 20. So almost all the boxes in the game, the larger calibers of course, not the smaller pistol calibers, these are all stay like 50. So the larger calibers, they've almost been reduced by over half or less than half. So pretty big changes, obviously. But the reasoning behind this is if we come over here, drop all this stuff, and take a look over here, you'll notice some of the new items added to the game with this new update, right? And these are larger ammo containers containing a lot of bullets for little amount of space. So for example, here we have the 5.45 Soviet ammo can, and it holds over 1,000 bullets for the equivalent of 6 of these boxes. So that's a lot of ammo, and of course these are going to be incredibly rare, but if you find one of these, you're going to have such an advantage to carrying your inventory space. They're 100% going to be worth finding, carrying onto, and you'd be very upset if you lose one of these things, because God, if I lost 1,000 bullets, I would be very upset. So that's really it regarding the changes to ammo. I'm really excited to see how all this stuff plays out. I think it's going to change the pace of gameplay a lot. I think ultimately people are going to be playing a lot slower and carrying more magazines rather than just a lot of boxes, because you're going to have to take time to load up these magazines now. I think it's really interesting to see where the game's going to go from here. One thing I will also mention is that unfortunately for this update, drum mags are going to be removed from the game. Now it's uncertain whether they're going to be removed forever or if they'll make a return at some point, but who knows, we'll have to see. So while we're talking about new items, the next thing I would like to go over are the new food items that we have in the game. For the most part, these are all pretty basic food items like the ones we have already, except for this energy drink over here. And the cool thing about this energy drink is it acts just like a normal drink, but after you use it, you'll notice that you get the effects of a stamina booster, just like that. So besides the new food items and ammo containers, we have some new clothing items that are in the game. For example, the post mentions a police officer outfit, and I have it here for you guys to take a look at. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is the new recoil system that's now in the game. The recoil is now noticeably different for all the guns in the game, as well as the functionality. So previously in the game, recoil was more about adjusting your shots rather than controlling the actual recoil. So now you'll notice that controlling the gun requires a lot more pull on your mouse. So personally, I believe this is going to increase the skill gap in the game and promote a healthier playstyle that's more fun to play with. So you could get a better look at the new recoil, I've put together a before and after video that demonstrates a couple of guns. Another change that I don't really know how to explain is that the way weapon sights work is a lot different now as well. If you aim down sights, you'll notice that the reticle moves with the gun, I guess. That's my best way I could explain it. It's not a big change, but it looks a lot better. One big change that's made to snipers and rifle scopes, though, is that you will now find using rifle scopes and snipers that they have sway on them. This is obviously a very big change to snipers, and I think it was necessary because snipers were too good for how easy they were to use. Alright, so moving on, we have to discuss some changes made to the combat system and as well as groups. So in a second here, you'll notice that I'll get shot right to my left, but the shot won't actually hit me. And you'll see that I get put in combat. That's the first change. Next, you'll see on my map that my player is in a little red circle. This is called the combat zone. And basically, when you get put in combat, you'll be put in this little small radius on the map. And in order to leave combat, you'll either have to leave that zone or wait 5 minutes in that zone without being shot at. So if you leave the zone and go back in, it's still going to be there. You have to wait 5 minutes for the zone to completely disappear. So moving on regarding some changes to groups, the first thing you'll notice is that above your teammates' heads now, you'll no longer see their name, but rather a little blue icon. And if you hover your mouse over that icon, then you'll see their name. And as I mentioned earlier on in the video, you can no longer see your teammates' markers on the map. So the next thing I want to talk about is the new infected performance that you could find in-game. Now everyone that plays the game currently knows that how bad zombies are on the current servers, right? They're laggy, they're unpredictable, they hit you from miles away sometimes, and they're not fun to deal with. And if you play the game a lot, I'm sure that this has happened to you before, where zombies kill you from a mile away like this. So here are the zombies in the new update, and you could already tell that they follow you a lot tighter and they won't hit you from such a distance anymore. Meleeing them feels a lot nicer and they won't get these laggy hits on you while you're trying to kill them. They also do less damage now, so that's pretty good. So here I'm demonstrating the new line of sight ability when they won't aggro you unless they're actually facing you. So here I'm sneaking up on him and he's not aggroed on me. I'm keep going, and then eventually he's going to turn around and actually see me, and that's when he comes towards me. So that's really it in terms of new content and features. I have a list of honorable mentions that I'd like to talk about real quick. First thing I'd like to talk about is the numerous amount of performance improvements that were made, and we all know that this game could get really laggy at times, and hopefully this update cuts down on a lot of that lag. Next, you probably already noticed the new hotbar here at the bottom. It looks a lot better, and its functionality is a lot smarter as well. Next, if you come into the menu, you'll see that we have a various amount of new settings. You can adjust your sound, some of your accessibility like camera inversion, game quality, controls, so you can finally remove the controls off your screen, and a bunch of other stuff. So that's finally a great needed change. There's also been... Can you guys shut up? I'm trying to record a video. There's also been numerous amount of new sounds added to the game. So if you see with the pocket knife, for example, as well as car sounds, and we finally have horns. Also, another thing you probably already noticed is that zombies have ripped clothing now. And finally, the player spawning system has been improved to stop players from returning to fights that they've previously died in. So I don't want to drag this video on too long, so I'm going to end it here. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. I'm excited to get back to making videos again with this update, and I'm ready for a new chapter of Apocalypse Rising 2. So thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy this long-awaited update. Do you actually want to be in the video?
Yes.
What do you want to say? Alright, you heard him.
No, don't do that.
Why?
Dude. 'Cause I have to look good in front of the community.
Alright, so say something that you want to look good about.
My name's Bloody One, and I got Mad Shoe Game.
Yeah, dude, sure. Totally. You heard it here first.
It says the person that spends $800,000 on a pair of fucking Jordans. Feel like a real stupid ass, don't we? Huh? Dude, cry?
Yep.
Yep.